Hi, this is Suzanne HB, a Crazy Just Might Work on Instagram. Today I'm going to show you the Hidden Links bracelet. Now, for those of you who've been following the Hidden series, you know that there's lots of cap bands involved. This one is probably the most complex of the hidden ones. Basically, you've got a couple of interlinking chains going through here. It's kind of like interlinking hidden loopholes. So there are a lot of cap bands going on. So if you're scared of cap bands, run now. Otherwise, stick with me and we will make it. Now, this one, which was my original, has been made with 5 quintuple cap bands, so wrapped around 5 times on each side of each loop. And this one, which I just made yesterday, because it's got much sturdier bands, I've used the black Persian, the blue metallic or blue metal. These are all rainbow loom ones. And the internal band is actually also a gold metallic band. Because of the internal band being so much tighter and stronger, I've actually only wrapped 3 quad-capped bands around each side of those loops. So you can see there's one there that's quad-capped, 3 quad-capped, and on each side 3 quad-capped, so 4 times around the hook. Alright, now this one is a much stronger, sturdier band, and this one has a little bit of a lot more play in it still. As I showed on my Instagram page, you can actually twist this before you hook it together, and you can end up with quite a nice twisted result. Where you can have it facing this way, facing this way, facing this way. It's quite a flexible bracelet to wear depending on your mood. But today, so that one's with the stronger bands. If you want to go for that, you just adjust down. You use the stronger internal band, like some kind of strong silicone, and adjust down the number of cap bands that you do per side. But this one is the one we're going to do today, the original. So I have decided to do, since I've been inspired by all the very pretty bands out there, I'm going to do glitter white bands, and the other part of it is going to be glitter gold bands. And the internal band I'm going to use is just an opaque pink. You don't see much of it, but it just gives quite a nice little soft pink look to it when you see it. So let's get started. You'll just need 1 loom for this, and it should remove the middle bar pin and set it up so that your pins are actually across from each other. And we will be using 4 pins. This one, this one, this one, and this one. You just need to have 4 directly across from each other, and you will need a hole for the bracelet to go through. So it is possible to do this band with the bar pins actually running alongside each other, but it's a lot harder to get the band through. So because you're going to be stretching the band so much anyway to get those cap bands on, you might as well just set it apart and give yourself a bit more room to maneuver. The very start of this is so this will be the initial loop, which is like a complete loop rather than doing both sides. We're going to use, instead of 10 cap bands for a loop, 5 each side, we're going to use 8. It just makes a smoother finish going around the outside. So I think I'll make the gold bands, the outside bands, today. All we need to do with these gold bands is wrap them 5 times. Please excuse my counting as I go. If I don't count, I tend to lose track and then I have to go back and do them again. So 1, 2, 3, 5, slide them up. Today also, I should have said, as with all of the other ones, I'm using a 2mm crochet hook. When you're doing the 5 times wrapped cap bands, it's pretty much impossible with the Rainbow Loom original hook. There's another 5, it's 3 bands on. But it's quite easy with a 2mm. There's enough hook there that your internal band doesn't slide off too much, and it's narrow enough that the external bands that we're doing here, the capped bands, slide on okay over that tip of the hook. So I'm finding that a 2mm hook is the best one for me to use. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many have we got? 1. Sorry about the focus. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 3 more on this end one to give our 8 to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Lost count there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost there, last one. That have a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Okay, so there's 8 bands capped 5 times for each band. Next step is to grab one of your internal bands. Mine's going to be just normal Rainbow Loom pink, and I'll grab it on there, and if I'm lucky, these bands will be slippery enough that they might all go on all in one hit, if I'm lucky. You of course can slide them on one by one, but I'm finding that this 2mm crochet hook actually means that I can slide most of them on all in one hit, which is quite convenient for these bracelets where we're using so many cap bands rather than having to take them on one by one. Alright, so first one goes on, and you need to be consistent with this part. So the gold in this instance is always going to go from this bottom left to this top right. So we hook it on there and hook it on over there. You can give it a wiggle and move it around either now or at the end or both, but you can sort of have a bit of a fiddle and an adjustment with it. Next we're going to do our first white glitter part of the loop, which is going to be the same process. So we'll get another 8 cap bands and we'll put them onto another internal pink. So here's, I'll just move this out of the way so I'm not banging it all the time, be in focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I apologise for the state of my hands. We've got really dry weather here, dry and cold. And if I put cream on before I do a tutorial, the crochet hook slips out of my hand. So you just have to bear with my dry hands. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another thing I found was that when you know you're going to have to do a certain amount of cap bands, is to lay that amount out so you don't have to keep counting back through like I am at the moment. 2, 3, 4, 5, because I have lost track, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. last one on this one. I'll try not to talk under my breath as well. I realise I talk quietly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is actually faster when you're not videoing it, so I'm sure you will be whipping through these in no time by the time you've done a few. Our internal band again. Pop it on, and let's see if we can get it to slide on. All in one hit again. These glitter bands are reasonably slippery. If you've watched any of my other tutorials, you have a reasonable chance that it could pop off, but we'll give it a go. We can just roll any on that are being a bit stubborn. Alright, so we will be in this band. We just cross that across like that, and the white glitter bands are always going to go from the top left to the bottom right. And the way it works ends up being the reason why it comes into a linked kind of chain with one looser, sort of loose within the other chain. It's a cute effect. Alright, so there's our start. If you're familiar with the other hidden bracelets, you'll know that the next step will be to take another internal band across, and we're going to take it in the direction of the one that's below. So we're going to take it in the direction of the gold, so that when we loop that together it's going to go around the white. Alrighty, and then I'll just keep using this hook because it's easier. I've got it in my hand. We just hook that over on both pegs. Of course it wants to play out. There we go. Just hook it over on both pegs. Now on each side we're going to have 5 quintuple capped bands. So I've been doing them in lots of 5 and sliding on one side and then making the other bands and sliding them on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I find 10 capped bands is a bit much for me to keep track of on one. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've gone back to gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just like triple capping, except you wrap it around the 5 times. Alright. We next grab this band off that side. It doesn't matter which side you do first, and you'll note that that's now caught underneath the white capped internal band there. So this is going to, the links are going to form around each other. So we give it some nice tension. Sorry if my hands are getting in the way here. Some nice tension and slide. And with any luck, we'll be able to slide all of those on all at once, which does make for a faster band. But if you're not being able to do that, you can certainly do it one band at a time and give it that nice roll to get it on over there. Slip it back onto the peg that you took it off and cap another 5 bands for the other side. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like I should give you hold music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one last one, I think. Yep, one last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that's our next 5. We've put the original ones on this side, and so we need to put the other side of the loop on this side. So again, we take it off the peg give it a good stretch. I really recommend using good quality bands for these because there's a really good amount of stretch on these internal bands particularly, and you could snap something that's a bit more brittle. I'm finding the Rainbow Loom opaques are working well for me, and I think Loves to Loom may have used jelly bands on the inside. I find jelly bands sometimes can be a bit too springy for my liking when I'm trying to do this, but certainly they've got enough stretch to do it. Alright, so let's stretch that out. Try not to get in the way and shadows. And see if we can slide all of them on, all in one hit. Pull them out a little bit and pop that one back where it came from. Alrighty. Now if you can see that, you can see that we now have one of the white capped bands caught inside that first link. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so I've just done the, my lighting's just gone crazy on me. We have just done the gold, so the next thing we're going to do is a white one. So we'll push those ones down. Oh. Sorry, my iPad's having fun adjusting to my new light. Okay, that looks okay. So we're going to do the same thing with the white glitter part. So we need a band. It's going to be our internal band, stretching across from the top left to the bottom right, which is the same track the other white glitter band went on, and we'll just be consistent this time, which is what I did with this one. I had consistently one colour staying the same on the same two pegs each layer. If you want to make it look a bit interesting, a bit more interesting, you can actually alternate the colours that are on the same pegs, which is what I did with the original one. So that's another choice that you have. This one we're going to do it as the same colour going across the same two pegs every time, but this is just alternating colours. It's the only difference. Okay, we take the one with the white cap bands over, and then we start loading up for the next one. So we're back to our white glitter bands. I keep pushing this out of the way, I think, because I just haven't got quite enough space to get it to focus. Our white glitter bands, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got another 5 of these, wrap 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I said, same as double capping or triple capping, you just do it 5 times around. 2, 3, 4, 5. I wouldn't recommend using the stronger silicone bands as these capping bands either, unless you're going to wrap it less times, like I did with the thicker bracelet, and yeah, wrap it less times, I think, with the thicker bracelet. I think it's better with the springier bands, being the outside bands. Alright, so back to our loom again, now that we've got the first 5 loaded on there. Take this off, and now I will show you, just in case you're having difficulty with the whole one all-in-one hit idea. Now you can use, because you've got the stretch on here, you can use this hand to assist and pull them over. You can pick them up and squeeze and pull them over. I've seen some people do that. You can roll every little bit of it over. 1, 2, like that. Or you can hold this like that and you have control over the stretch from there, and you can push it over with the thumb on this hand like that. So there are lots of different choices. You may not have worked with quintuple cap bands before when they've been wrapped 5 times. So it is a case of just keeping control of the stretch of the internal band and keeping this one sliding over. Alright, pop that back on from where it came from. I really need to do something about that light. I don't know why it's doing that now when it was fine before. Okay, I might just make a little adjustment to my light and see if we can solve that. Alright, the other side again. Again, we're going to do the 5 times capping on 5 bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you've got the trick of these, they are fairly repetitive and you can get quite quick at the capping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it does mean that this isn't a terribly long bracelet to make. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we head on over to the bottom right. Remove that. And somehow, however you prefer, get those bands onto that internal pink band. All of them going over. I think it's better if they don't get all crossed across each other. It does give you a slightly smoother, more even look. It's easier to play with the thing. See how that sort of got tangled between the 2 bands? It is easier and nicer, I think, if they sit separately. So if you can't keep them untangled, doing it all in one hit, it might be better to do them one by one. Matter of preference, of course. Alright, so we'll pop that one back where it came from. And move along to our next layer. I'm not sure if I can get you to see here because my light's playing up a bit. We now have the gold layer trapped by the white glitter layer. So we've got gold around white, white around gold, and we'll just keep alternating that, and that's the way to work all the way up. Okay, let's see if I've adjusted my light so that it's going to play nice for me. So our last layer was our white glitter bands, so we'll now lay an internal band across the top of that to form the next loop. Hook up the ends from the previous layer. Oh dear. And start looping the gold glitter bands again. So we have, just see if I can get these out of the way again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's not going to work. That would be a white one. Getting confused there. Picked up the wrong one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, back to our loom, and let's put those ones on again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's That's one way of getting them on. Pop it back on the peg that it came off. And cap some more on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sure you've got the hang of this by now. So this might be my last one. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're still a bit confused about the way to do it, you can rewind and check it out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and bring it back, and that will form the other side of this gold loop. There we go. Stretch it out. Now, if you're not confident with your cap bands, one way you can do it is get your cap band to here, and then grab that one and just roll every little piece over, and it'll kind of just keep rolling over, and you've got a neat little cap band there. Or, as you might end up doing, once you get comfortable with it, and you've got nice slippery bands, slide them all on. And that one's going to go back where it came from, onto the gold pegs. Alright, so if we just have a little bit of a look, you should be able to start to see that we've got those links starting to form. We've got the gold running down one way, and the white running down the other way, and just a hint of that pink that we're using as the internal band will come through. So I thought that if it was going to be a colour that came through, that pink might be pretty with the gold and the white bands. Alrighty, might perhaps just do one more layer and then I'll finish it off. This is very easy to finish, to close off, and I'll show you how you can twiddle it around so that it ends up looking pretty. Alright, so we've done a gold layer. Since the last layer was a gold layer, we'll be doing the white glitter as the next layer. So stretch our internal band across that white peg to white peg, top left, bottom right. Hook that over, and then we'll load up some more of the white glitter bands for each side. Just move this so that I'm hoping I'll get less problems with light, but I'm not sure I will. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just puts it in quite a different position for me. Apologies for these adjustments as I learn how to get YouTube videos to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And even if you are slow with these cap bands, you will be picking up speed quite quickly because there are so many of them to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one for this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so over to that one side. Oops, now, as you see, even though we've lost it, it doesn't actually spring completely back. So we can just grab a hold of it, and even if that actually came out, these bands are holding on so tightly, these outer bands, that this really doesn't want to slide back into the middle, so we would have been able to capture that band. So even though it's sort of tight working with the cap bands, they do stop things unraveling very quickly when you're doing it. Sorry about the wobbles. Okay, so we can take this off onto the internal band, however you prefer, and we'll pop it back to that same peg. side. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those of you who have been following my posts on Instagram, you know that I had a very big tidying and cleaning day today. So I'm a bit tired, but I knew some of you were waiting for this design, so I thought I would try and see if I could get a decent tutorial up, even though I'm tired. So apologies if I'm at any point not making a lot of sense, but I'm hoping that there will be enough sense in here that you'll be able to make the bracelet and show me your gorgeous creations, because I love seeing them. And I've discovered too, I really like it when people use the tagging feature on bracelets, where it says tag someone in a photo, because even if I my comments slide off my newsfeed, I can still, it still shows up as a tagged photo, so I'll get to see it. So that's a good tip, to tag me actually on the photo. Alright, so we've got our 5 quintuple cap bands, 5 times wrapped around, and we can hook that internal band off the peg and slide these ones onto the internal band, however is easiest, and pop that back on again. Okay, you can pull this out to the side when it starts to get a bit annoying, wobbling the bottom section. Alright, so last thing we did was the white glitter, so we're going to do the gold glitter ones. And should have pushed that down first. So hook that over, and we'll load with gold glitter bands. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going out of shot since I've moved all my stuff around. Try and get the light better. Moved my position on doing things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These glitter bands are sticking together. It's another thing about the dry weather too. I go to put the silicone bands down and they stick to my fingers with static, which makes it interesting trying to get them into the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I was trying to sort today, they kept sticking to my fingers and flinging themselves out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one for that side. There they go, they're sticking to me again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go down to the one that we've just put on. Again, we lose it. It's not a drama because it really doesn't go far. So we can roll it. We can slide it straight on. We can slide it in multiple sections. Or we can push it. Sorry, push it with our thumbs to get it on, or a combination of any or all of those. Okay. Oh, that will not help. Did I mention that I was tired? Okay, so that one really needed to go back to here. Another 5 for the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think, oh yes, it went on 5. I thought it went on 4, so I get a lumpy bumpy bit in the middle of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's for the other side. Again, this time try not to lose it. And getting all those bands on the side. Sorry about the clattering and banging. Alright, and that needs to go back onto the peg it came from. Sounding familiar? So, let's see what we've got down underneath here now. You'll be really starting to see that linkage happening on this now, with a few layers going through as they link around each other and all the way around. So I'm going to continue this and come back when I'm closing off. So I'll catch you soon. Back again. Okay, I have now completed what I think will be about the right length for my wrist, which is about 9 loops of the original starting band. So I think about 9 loops should suit my wrist. I've got a reasonably small wrist. So now I just need to show you the closure, which is super simple. You just get the bands that you've just laid. So my last band that I laid was, sorry about that, my last band that I laid was the gold band. So I'm going to get a gold band first, hook it off, and then I'm going to get a white band, white glitter, and hook it off. I'm going to get the other white band, hook it off, and then the gold band again. I just find that that comes in a little bit neater. Alrighty, so once you have those ones hooked off, you can close it either with a single band, or if you're thinking that you might like to twist it and you want to have better control over the twist, then you would double your cap band. So I will attempt a double cap band. If you flatten those out like that along there so that they've got a little bit of track to run through, it might make it a bit simpler. So we'll see how we go. A doubled cap band. Ooh. How about I just make a cap band? That might be easier. Alright. So cap band, line up the places that it's going to go through and hook it through. Back on itself, and this is where we can put our C-clip. I tend to put my finger through, that's why I'm doing this. Like that. And the C-clip can just clip over all the bands on there. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so that's the look that we have. Is our pretty hidden links. Okay, so we can take it round. You can keep it straight so that it goes round and it hooks on, and these are relatively straight. So find a good spot at the end of this loop. You should be able to find where the middle point, the midpoint is of those, and just hook it on. Oops. It is now well after midnight here, so I am starting to get a bit beyond tide. So sorry about that. Okay, so we've got that hooked on, and that is our Hidden Links bracelet. Now, if you want to, you can wear it like this. You can twist. You can wear it like this, with that facing out, this on your wrist. It just keeps rolling over. Or if you're really keen, you can twist it before you clip it. Taking into account the fact that that will actually twist as well. So give it a couple of extra twists, because it's going to have a couple of those twists absorbed in the end one. we go. So you can actually wear it as a twisted bracelet as well, which would look really pretty. Okay, I hope this has helped. Please give me any constructive feedback. I'd love to see your designs. So if you can tag me on the photograph or put that crazy just might work in your comments, then I'll get to see them, which I really, really enjoy. The best part of designing is getting to see what you guys can do with my design. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this and happy looming. See ya!